Europe's economy is under pressure.
And we want to hear what businesses have to say, how they are coping with this complex scenario.
We've asked our chief economist to give us an overview of what's going on. She will share with us the key findings of the latest EIB Investment Survey.
From the heart of Europe to the whole world, this is What's the Matter? Ever since the pandemic softened its grip, European businesses have had to rebuild and invest more in order to survive and thrive. For managers, for business leaders, for entrepreneurs, it's been a bumpy ride. How are businesses navigating these new, changing circumstances? We start our journey here in Berlin.
Instafreight is a startup specializing in logistics technologies.
Nice to see you.
Maximilian is its CEO. He has experienced firsthand the consequences of COVID-19 lockdowns and the fallout of the war in Ukraine.
Uncertainty is the new normal in the supply chain markets. Like, the market used to follow certain patterns, used to follow certain rules, and over the past 3 years, all we can say that this is no longer the case.
To face the challenge, Maximilian believes in using new technologies to forecast in real time what is happening in markets.
We are sitting on big data pools. For instance, toll. We know every single truck in Europe where it's heading to, but this data is not available. The more we get access to data, the better we become in forecasting where the market is heading, where the economy is heading, and the better we get on acting on it.
Now imagine you are developing a new technology, one that promises to harvest the power of waves to generate clean energy. To understand the hurdles the technology faces, we've come to Finland to talk to Christopher, the CEO of WaveRoller.
Adapt this pulsation of power in the waves into smooth, grid-compliant electricity. It's a long road.
Christopher believes Europe is trying to support innovation, but financing is still a struggle.
I think there's a lot of focus amongst the investor community around finding the next unicorn. That is troublesome in many respects. I mean, if we look at the European Union, 67% of employment is down to SMEs. There needs to be a refocus on the real problems and how to solve those problems rather than trying to focus so much on finding the next unicorn.
Maximilian and Christopher have a clear understanding of what businesses need to thrive in an economy under pressure. More clarity on EU's priorities, better use of technology and data, support for innovation, and more finance for small and medium-sized businesses. Will Europe stand up to the challenge?
We have heard different business managers, their challenges, their concerns about the EU economy. Debora Revoltella, as the chief economist of the EIB, can you tell us in a simple way what is happening? How are EU businesses doing?
They are under a lot of pressure to transform and stay competitive. We have this survey of 12,000 firms in Europe, and what we saw actually that it's a good news is that so far they keep on investing. And we see that 85% of firms invested last year, and that's the same level we had pre-pandemic.
So interest rates are rising, there is a climate of uncertainty, and yet despite this situation, EU firms are managing to invest?
Somehow, because on the one side, firms in the last year, they were accumulating profits, and they are now using this profit, and they don't need yet to tap to credit market, so they don't feel the pain yet. But on the other side, firms were also receiving a lot of policy support in the form of grants or tax credit, and that also helps to keep investment going.
Does that mean that there is nothing to worry about then?
No. Actually, there is a lot to worry about because on the one side, we know that uncertainty is very high. On the other side, the cost of credit is high. And what we know is already now the share of firms that complain for a high cost of credit more or less tripled. And on the other side, the government are reducing the direct support to firms.
The survey found that the number of companies in Europe now investing in energy efficiency has risen from 40% to 50%. This is what we need to be prepared for the green transition.
Yes, that's a very good news, but we also need to be realistic, and we have a serious long-term competitiveness issue. In fact, what we see is that energy prices are some 3 times higher in the EU versus, as example, the US, and we are investing a lot in renewable, but before this translates into stable, lower energy prices, it will take 15 years.
But 15 years still is a lot. We need to invest in innovation. Let's talk about digitalization. We've seen in the past that EU firms are lagging, but according to this survey, 70% of businesses are now using any form of advanced digital technology. In this sense, we are improving.
Yes, the pandemic was a stimulus to digitalization, so that's a really good news. Now what we wanted to see is firms to take all the benefit out of the investment they did in the past, and in that concern, a lack of skill is really a concern. And on the other side, what we see is that in the advanced digital technologies like artificial intelligence, there European firms are lagging behind.
But at least we're in the right direction.
Yeah, we are in the right direction, but there are a number of factors to look at and to be concerned. The uncertainty, the energy cost, the cost of credit, all those have the potential to delay the transformation capacity of European firms. That's why we think it's very important to continue to have a targeted support to support exactly those investments in innovation, in digitalization, in climate action.
So there are concerns and potential solutions. Thank you, Debora, for this very complete picture of the EU economy. If you want to learn more of our EIB Investment Survey, do visit our website. This is all from us. See you in the next episode of What's the Matter?